And if you remember, I sent out those climate surveys and put them in your box, and y'all filled them out, put them back in my box. And so these are just the results of that survey. So we just have to quickly go over those. These are based off the American School Climate Survey. There's 6 correlations, and you can see those here. We have correlate 1 is safe and orderly environment. Correlate 2 is opportunity to learn and student time on task. Number 3 is climate of high expectations. And then number 4 is clear focused mission. And correlate 5 is positive home and school relations. And correlate 6 is strong instructional leadership. And correlate 7 is frequent monitoring of students' progress. So we're going to just hit those real quick based off of the survey. And then this kind of presentation will be done, and y'all can, Mr. Holder will take over. So I only had 12 participants, and so I thank you for those 12 who filled that out. I really do appreciate it, because I had to have at least 10, so thank you. And I know we're all busy, so if you didn't get it filled out, don't worry about it. It's okay. Basically, everybody's home language is English, and our educational levels went from high school diploma on through an EDS. And so I sent the survey to instructional staff, support staff, everybody, because I wanted a broad spectrum as to how we feel as a school for this presentation. So, safe and orderly environment, 67% of us agree that this is a safe place in which to work. And the good news is that 58% of us say that students at this school don't fight a lot. You know, we don't have to worry about the physical altercations as much as, we might see verbal, but that's not really considered fighting. That's disagreement. So, just kind of showing you kind of an idea of what we're looking at. I've been able to deter bullying behavior amongst students. I think this is really awesome for us as a staff. Like, as a whole school, 75% of us say, look, I can deter it. I can find a way to stop it going on in my room. And so that tells me that we are not only just teaching the children, we're listening to what's going on in our room, and trying to curb those destructive behaviors that cause a disturbance. And then addressing bullying behavior at least once per month. We all admit, look here, we have 17 and 75. So, roughly 90, we're all doing it. 92%, of us are seeing that in our classroom, but we're addressing it. We're not just turning a blind eye. We're actually looking at the problem and trying to work with our students to fix it. So, now, some children carry knives or guns to school. Guns or knives in this school. 8% agreed with that. We had 42% were not sure. And we had 17 who disagree with that statement, which means, this 17 and 33 right here, if you add those together, that's saying that, we feel almost about 50% that we're anticipating that they might have a weapon on them at school. Of course, thinking about the climate that is outside of our school, that might influence that a little bit. So, correlate to opportunity for a student to learn, racial barriers to educational and economic opportunity no longer exist in the United States. I think that this is very accurate. Only 9% of us think that they no longer exist. I think the rest of us totally understand that that is still very influential in America, and that is happening. And that some people say that students will be successful because of their race. They'll be successful at this school because of who they are, as opposed to who they're not. That's something I wish that it was more along the lines of the race didn't play such a part, but this is, like I said, y'all's opinion. So the climate of high expectations, the first column says most students in this school will live beyond the age of 25. We're all pretty much in agreement that that's going to happen. The second column says students at this school are not motivated to learn. So we're kind of like on a split there. We're on a 60-40 split. Teachers at this school work to foster supportive climate for the students. Less than 20% said they weren't sure. So, 80% of us feel as though we are doing everything we can to make sure that our children are getting the material. We're talking to parents, we're scaffolding with the kids, we're meeting with the children, we're pulling them during PE. We're doing those things to try to get the information to them. And then most students at this school, the last column says, most students at this school would not be successful at a community college or university, and majority of us disagree with that statement. That's what that's saying. That column is saying that all of us disagree with that statement, that these kids would be successful at a community college or university, that they can achieve that, So we only had one person who said that they might not. But the majority of us said, no, they're going somewhere. Correlate 4, clear and focused mission. The first column says, I'm currently pursuing in-service opportunities to improve myself as a teacher. Once again, we have over 70% trying to improve their teaching methods. Column 2 says there's sufficient opportunities to learn new instructional methods. Once again, we have over 70% who feel like they are being supported PD-wise. I would benefit more from professional development provided by the district. It's a 50-50 split. Some say yes, some say no. And then we are preparing students to become productive citizens. The vast majority agrees, yes, we're doing everything we can as a school to put these kids out there and say, you're able to go be successful, you're able to go do this. Correlate 5 is the positive home and school relations. Students at this school trust teachers. That's a big one because we feel as though the kids trust us. They can come and they can talk to us, and they know that we're going to help them in whatever they're needing, and that they feel confident in us. So, teachers at the second column says teachers at this school care whether or not the students are successful. We all do. We all do. Parents are supportive of the school and its activity. Only 4 teachers responded that yes, they felt that way. 3 were not sure. And 5 people said no. They don't feel that the parents are supportive. I respect the students. Everyone said that they respected the students. And then teachers are not fair to some students at this school. And this is kind of interesting because to me this is like a 50-50 split. You've got 6 who agree, 1 that's not sure, and 5 who say no. And then I've met most of my students' parents or caretaker. Now this was before, keep in mind, this survey was before Parent Involvement Month and open house. So of course at that point in time, you probably had not made parental contact. If I was to send out this survey again, most of you would fill out, yep, I've seen Johnny and Susie's mother, I know who she is, or, we have each other's phone number, or they know how to get in contact with me. This was sent, I gave this to y'all the 3rd week of school. And the majority of you turned it in by the 4th week of school. So with that being said, a lot of things have transpired. We've had 9 weeks of school since then. And then strong instructional leadership. I look forward to coming to work most days. Pretty much all of us want to be here. If we didn't, I guess y'all would not be here right now. So administrators at this school trust my professional judgment. The majority of us feel as though we're being supported by Mr. Howard and Miss Garrett. We feel as though if we had to go and talk to them about a problem, that we know that they're going to address that problem. And then frequent monitoring of student progress. Students at this school will have difficulty with core academic subjects regardless of the strength of instruction. 60% of us agree with that statement. 20% are not sure. 20% said they or disagree with that statement. and I kind of didn't quite understand that. But, I mean, we all know where our kids are. We know what we're looking at. I mean, when Miss Garrett interviewed me last year, she said, you know, we're in a reverse tier situation. And I said, okay. I mean, you know, so we have to address that. And so I think we're all in the same boat. We know what the data says, but we know how we can move the data too. And then students at this school are capable of high achievement on standardized tests. 90% of us agree with that. 90%, which means it shows me that we have confidence in our kids, and we got confidence in who we are as teachers and what we can do with them. And so my improvement plan would be, the focus area 1 would be parent involvement. So that's a crucial area to success as a school, and to get those positive school and home relationships, we must reach all students and their parents. Focus area 2, the inclusion of all races. Racial barriers in America do exist. Be the exception, not the rule of thumb. Inclusion means all. Doesn't mean, you know, well, this one gets it and this one doesn't. You know, you be fair across the board. Focus area 3, safety in school. The recent violence around our school is kind of frightening, but we encourage students to report weapons as soon as possible, and build relationships with students to help hinder the use of those things and bad decision making. You know, we've got to talk to our kids about using words instead of violence. You know, I've taught in an alternative school setting, so I've taught at the local jail. So, I mean, like I've seen dangerous situations. This is not a dangerous situation, but this is a great opportunity because these are young minds forming to talk to them about what our other options are. And then bullying, bully forms are made available, and students should be aware of how to report and redirect students in a positive manner. Like, you know, don't say that because, you know, pull them out to the side, talk to them about how their words are hurtful to another person or how their actions are. And so the parent involvement would be open house, which we're having. Do a digital newsletter. Might be a way of reaching more parents. We can send it through Remind, and it pulls up as a PDF. You know that we do the AMS Bulldog News, so instead of just doing the paper copy, which I don't know about you, but in 7th grade and in 8th grade, I pick up a lot on the floor. So send it by Remind.
Right, I have a question. Forgive me for not knowing the answer,
okay.
but Remind. Is that something that the school has to, as a school, we can just download that?
You can download it. It is free, and you can send, because the school could buy a purchase license, which would allow larger messages to be sent out. But you can still send, like, I send PDFs of homework home. I just, like, if I type up homework, I save it as a PDF, and then I just hook it into my Remind, and I send the PDF of homework home.
But it's a text message. That's
and
what
it's
I'm
a
saying.
text message, but you know,
everything needs to be a text message.
right,
Nobody's
right.
looking at
It's
emails.
exactly. So it's a text, but when
Okay.
they click the link, it pulls up in their web browser on their smartphone or
Do you
whatever.
get responses from
Yes,
parents?
I do, and they get. Not only do I get responses from parents, it gives me documentation of the
That
responses,
you call.
and it tells me the whole conversation I have with the parent, and it protects the parent and it protects me. So, do media conference night and try to get 100% conferences for each homeroom teacher, and individual teacher contact. Call or meet with 5 parents. This is just a suggestion. I'm not saying that we're doing this, but my suggestion would be call or meet with 5 parents a week. That's not a whole lot. 1 per day that we're in school. 1 on Monday, 1 on Tuesday, 1 on Wednesday. Positive or negative.
Last question about Remind.
Yeah.
Remind is not an automatic thing. The parent has to text the number back and join.
No, you can send a blanket invite to their email, to their cell phone number.
But
Send a text.
They have to accept.
They have to
it, though.
accept.
That's what- Did all your parents accept?
75. out of the 7th grade, and I have 105, so I'm only missing
And how
30.
many can you upload since the system didn't purchase the
You
license?
can upload 150 parents
Okay, just
into your
personal.
contacts.
Okay, thank you.